Let's do this.
5, 6, 7, 8. Hey guys, welcome back. We are here once again with another video. Okay, so if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Yeah, you're looking at it. Go ahead and click it. And also follow us on our social media account at dippedingrace__. So I'm not gonna do much talking, so let's just get into the video. Alright, so by the title of the video, you guys can already tell what it's gonna be about. And I have 3 of my special friends here. This series is called Millennials Talk. So I wanted to do something where we just kind of talk about what us millennials are going through that other people can relate to. So this is why I started this, and this is episode 1, guys. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. So they're gonna introduce themselves and drop their social medias. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Patrice, at Boolin Jesus, Boolin Jesus, no space.
It's Ashley. You already know. Can you even have space in here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Sorry,
this
I'm new to Instagram. It's with Liv, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At Das with 3 S's, X, and then Wild.
Yeah.
Get at me.
Those are my special friends. So the topic for today is gonna be mental health in the church. So before we start, I'm just gonna ask everyone, like, what is mental health to you? Anybody could go first.
Emotional stability is definitely what I think is mental health for me.
Okay.
Mental health for me is a state of mind, which I feel is redundant because, like, to be in good mental health, you have to be in a good state of mind. And so that's why whenever I think of mental health, I think of self-care days. I think of days of, where you just take time to yourself, or days where if you're an outgoing person, you spend time with those who you love. And that's what mental health is to me.
Okay.
I guess for me it would be like how you react to outside stimulus in your life. So it's like, let's say something bad happens at work or something like that, your mental health dictates how you're going to react, if it's positive or negative to it. So it's like, I don't know, it's more or less keeping yourself in a state of balance. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So for me, mental health is how you view yourself and how you go about like situations. Like she also said, like self-care days. That's what mental health is to me, and not letting other people's words affect you or your behavior. And sometimes to just be okay, like even if you make a dumb decision or whatever, to be okay with yourself. So yeah, that's what mental health is. So second question, why do you think like our generation mostly go through like mental health? Like why do you think it's such a huge thing in our generation?
Because of social media. Everybody every day is waking up and the first thing you're doing is checking social media. And you're looking at how somebody else's life is 1,000 times better than yours. Normal people who look like you and I are living like Beyonce, and you're like, well, at my age, why can't I live like Beyonce? And it's a constant state of, comparison. Like, why at my age I have my own apartment or I'm still living at my mother's house? And it's just like, that kills your joy. If you're always wondering why you can't do more, why you can't do better, you're never happy with yourself, and in return, you're never happy in general.
I also think it's because, like, old generation versus the new generation, old heads, they condition you and they tell you that what you're going through is not as hard as somebody else is going through, you feel me? So it's like, just be appreciative that you're not going through what somebody else is going through. So like, we just have to stay there and like, take it in, even though we should express ourselves, go to therapy and all that. And therapy is like, we consider as being white, but I think we should all just go to therapy.
I'm gonna touch base on that, but go ahead.
I guess it would be like what you're taught from a young age. So it's like, from, like, I guess as a kid, you're kind of like, not only taught, but like media that you watch, TV, movies, things of that sort. You're kind of expected to become this by this certain age. And it's like everybody, once you reach that age or that threshold, you're kind of like, I have amounted to nothing, you know, and then you kind of go down a dark path in a sense.
Okay, I definitely agree with all the viewpoints. The reason why I believe that a lot, our generation specifically, go through mental health a lot, like Whitliff said, is social media, and also I feel like a lack of identity, because a lot of times we don't know who we are, so we go and check social media to tell us who we are, so then we try to be like the next person, what they're doing, so we try to make their process our process, but then not knowing that we're all not built the same. So Whitliff process might not necessarily be my process. So what she dreams of doing is not necessarily what I dream of doing. So then when I try to be like her, I find myself in a place where I'm like bashing myself and hard on myself, and I start getting depressed because I'm not getting there as fast and she's already there. So yeah, lack of identity, and like also like she said, social media. And I feel like we also battle. Let me just talk about Haitian household, okay? Let me talk about that. We battle. I feel like in a Haitian household, mental health is very prevalent, because you can't really talk to a Haitian parent, bro. Like, it's hard, because like by the time you tell them one thing, Haiti no, Canada no, everybody knows.
Yeah.
So it's like so hard, and it's like you're so young. Like, what do you know? And I'm just like, oh my God, don't even start. So I feel like it's also like your parent and stuff, how easy they make it to talk to them, or are they gonna judge you when you do tell them something? So I feel like that's why a lot of times we stay quiet and we don't seek
And are they
help.
going to throw it back in your face later when you guys are arguing? Or
Facts, exactly.
are they going to tell you that somebody else has it harder than you, so you should be grateful? It's like, that doesn't help my situation right now.
Facts.
At all.
Yeah, anybody else got anything else to say?
I feel like I can't relate to the household thing, because I come from a very fortunate and very open, very, you know, they're like in tune with me. So it's
Yeah.
like, if I want this, they're gonna want that. They're gonna support me. So it's just like, with that household thing, it doesn't affect my emotional stability, but there are other aspects.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, for my house, I guess it's kind of like half of what you're bringing up and then half of what like Ash is saying. So it's like with like I'll be open with like talking about like, I guess, specific pressing things, so like physical things that are in the house that I need to work on. But if it has to deal with mental stuff, like I'll just work on it myself, or not really bring it up, because you know it can kind of either get thrown back to you, or
Yeah.
you know they'll kind of, what is it, make it seem as though it's not as significant as it is in a sense.
Lessen the whole thing.
Yeah, or they might not even know how to help you with that issue in the first place, and they might not even be able to work on it themselves. So, yeah.
And in a Haitian household, there's no such thing as emotional health. If you're healthy, if you're waking up, if you're eating, you're good.
Yeah, like,
You're good.
Yeah.
Don't bring up how sad you are. You're good. You're okay. You're very fortunate, and so move on from it.
Let me just say, like, not every Haitian household is the same.
Right,
Yeah.
isn't like that.
Like Ashley said, her household, they're very supportive. Like, my house also, they're very supportive in what I do, whatever. But
Yeah.
for example, like with my mom, she's a very God-fearing woman. So I know, like, let's say, for example, Ashley's parents, you know, she could get her little piercings or whatever. I mean, I have my ears pierced. But if I was to go to my mom and be like, hey, so I'm going to get, 3 more piercings, y'all, my clothes gonna be out the door before I even finish, okay? So like in that sense, she's not really as supportive, and like I wasn't really raised to like go and share my emotions or like tell them how I feel. So I learned to like kind of keep everything in.
Compartmentalize.
Exactly, to keep everything in, because I already saw how she was with my other siblings. I mean, she's a great mom, but I saw how she was with my other siblings. So I was like, yeah,
Can I say something?
never mind. Go ahead.
I feel like I wasn't taught to like, express my emotions and be vulnerable to them. But if I wanted to, they would listen.
Yeah.
That's me. That's my parents. They would listen. They would try to help. They wouldn't just be like, go to your room type thing,
Yeah.
They would listen.
Yeah, and I think also being a parent is a learning experience too.
Yeah.
Because like what I was saying is, my mom when we were younger, she was very straight Haitian, like, you don't have feelings. Did you eat today? You're good. You're up. You're healthy. But now she's as we've grown up and as we've addressed our concerns to her, she's become more lenient and more laissez-faire and more of a friend almost. So I think, like Tiz was saying, you know, not every household is the same. Some parents are willing to learn and evolve, and some parents are stuck in their ways.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agreed. So that's it. Nobody wanna put in? Okay.
That's pretty much it.
So we're gonna jump to the next question. So like, how do you think the church deals with mental health?
It depends.
Can I
which
agree to
church.
disagree? So go ahead.
I'll be honest, I'm not really a churchgoer, so
Yeah, me neither.
I wouldn't.
I don't have much of an insight on like how churches, like I guess the support systems of churches and all that stuff. But like I know, like based off of I guess what is it? I remember it's like with churches, it's supposed to be like a group of people that look like you, that you know kind of are similar age to you. Like you can find kids in a similar age, so you can kind of relate to them and then use them to help you. But I mean, from my like few church experiences, like they're all weird. Like I did not like any of like the church kids. Like yeah, they've all been like either really weird people or like just you know kind of not in touch with me, like with my reality, you know. So it's always like I'll bring up something. They'll be like, "What are you talking about?" And then I'll just be like,
But I feel like that's all of us when it comes to
I'm like, "Shit, what is this kid talking about?"
Oh, we love you guys.
But what do you mean by like weird? Like,
huh?
like what do you mean by weird? Like they're weird. Like what do you mean?
Let's see. I don't know.
Is it like the difference in interest? Like
No,
what
not
is
even
it?
that. It's kind of like what is it? How can I say? It's like I guess they're not. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I felt as though I was more mature than them or something,
Okay.
or like you know, I felt as though like they're. I don't know. They acted like.
They're closed in words and like stuck in a box or something.
No, not even like that. No, just like weird in the sense of I don't understand why they act like this.
Okay.
Like, you know,
Okay, like-
what enables them to act in this sense.
Right.
I don't know, like,
The vocabulary.
and like, yeah, just in general, like, I don't know, I never really related much to like church kids, and like really in-depth church kids in a sense.
Why? No.
Huh?
There's a reason, and I think I know why.
Do you feel like they're judging?
Yeah, like
they're
Oh
gonna
yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're already like they already are judging.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you can see it in their eyes.
Yeah.
They don't have to speak. You just see
Yeah.
it. You don't belong.
Yeah, you kind
That's
of.
what they're telling you. You don't belong here.
Yeah, so like, damn, how'd you know?
Everybody feels it. But back to the church mental health question. I think that I don't know if like church and mental health goes hand in hand, because when I think mental health, I think more of like, you know, a body thing and like a spiritual thing if you're a spiritual person, versus when I think of church, I think of like strictly religion. But I know that people usually, when they are going through something, they usually go to the church, and you know, they go to God and they go to, you know, their religion, and they expect solace from that. You know, they expect to feel better, and majority of people do. But I don't know if the church deals with mental health in a sense, if you get what I'm saying. I know if you're going through something, you go to church. So I guess we could relate church to mental health. But I don't know if like...
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like I think it does kind of like go hand in hand, because it's like some churches might not validate your feelings, you know, because of this religion or what the book says. So it's like, dang, I can't even express my mental health because it's this way and that way. So it doesn't really matter what I say.
Back to what Ashley was saying, I do think that they go hand in hand, because I feel like so like in the church, it's supposed to be like a place where a safe ground where you go and you feel safe, like you're supposed to talk to people, you're supposed to have like a community that's like surrounding you or whatever. So I feel like as far as like youth and their mental health in the church, I feel like I also have to think it depends on your culture also.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to keep bringing it back to like a Haitian,
yeah.
but honestly, like youth mental health in a Haitian church is like pretty much like you can't really talk about it.
You're
Because
restricted.
they don't, like very restricted. They don't really talk about mental health in the church. And it's like you go to church, you're like, okay, I'm gonna talk to one of the members or like talk to this pastor or whatever. And you open up and tell them what they're going through. Like I said earlier, they're gonna tell you like you're young, like what do you know? Like what bills do you have to pay? Like why are you stressing out? Like you're living in a house, your parents taking care of everything. So like what is there can you possibly be depressed about? Like why are you anxious about things? And like they just start throwing Bible verses at you. I'm not saying like don't throw, you know, I know I'm at church. Like I'm not saying don't just, I know of God. I know that God can help me. Like don't just throw God in my face, you know. Don't just throw Bible verses. But it's like, how can you help me with what I'm going through, you know? And
You need a
that's
person
why
to help.
exactly,
Bible verse.
exactly. Like that's why God gave us community.
Yeah, like there's
you
no,
know,
but right now I need you.
exactly. And it's like they don't. And rather of them like helping you, they talk about you. So it's like when somebody sees you, they don't see Ashley for Ashley. They see Ashley as like depression. Oh, the girl that's depressed, the girl that's anxious. Like they don't see her for her.
She's speaking fast.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Haitian church, somebody. Yeah, like that's how I feel. And I also feel like a lot of youth, like that should take like therapy.
Yeah.
Just because you believe in God does not mean you cannot go to therapy, y'all. Like it's there for a reason. God equipped us with therapists, everything for a reason. So it's like,
Talk to him.
yeah.
I agree.
Talk to him.
I agree.
I'm a big believer in therapy.
Same.
I believe everybody should have a therapist. I don't yet, you know, cause money and stuff. But baby, once I get like a good job, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be at my therapist every day. Like you gonna know how my day was today, and how my day is tomorrow. Every day I'm gonna be there. Cause you need somebody to talk to. I feel like as humans, you need people to talk to, and you need trained professionals to talk to. Like yeah, you can talk to your friends, but at times they're no help.
Yeah.
Or they might not understand what you're going through, or they might not be able to, you know, help you get through whatever it is you're going through. And that's what a therapist is for.
You can compare a therapist to like a problem, you know? It's not their name, but it's like, it's kind of their same job.
Yeah. And also, like, a therapist isn't expensive. Like, there are some therapists, depending on your insurance or, like, depending on the therapist office itself, you can't afford a therapist, you know what I mean? So don't listen to me talking about money.
Really,
but
nigga?
a therapist is
Hey,
definitely
if you
affordable.
want it, you'll get it,
It's
okay?
worth it.
And
If
it's
you
very
want it,
accessible.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, that's how I feel about the church and, you know, the mental health in the church. I feel like it should be something that's more talked about in the church. And they should have like, I feel like even churches should have like a
Church
maybe,
therapist.
like a church therapist, like
counselor.
if
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
how schools have.
some churches have that, but I feel like some people you could question, dang, is my whatever I tell you, is it really gonna be confidential?
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Like it now comes in the matter of trust. Like how can I trust you? Especially before I've talked to you and you've shown me that I cannot trust you. Go and tell my problem, or you look at me different, already judging me. Then I won't go to you if you're the church counselor.
That's
Honestly,
true.
like I'm not.
You have to find somebody that's fit for it, like
Yeah.
Facts.
fit, like no
Exactly.
judgment. Someone untraditional in a way. For me, they can't be traditional, but they still, you know.
I think it also depends on the generation too, because if you do go to a more youth-centered church, then I think mental health will be more talked about. Not that I've,
Been to
Yeah.
one, but
I guess we have.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. But if you do go to like a more youth-centered church, or like the pastor is on the younger side, then I do believe that they'll be more focused towards mental health and, you know, taking days for yourself and whatnot. Versus like an older church or an older generation where like a mental health is a non-existent thing. You know,
They
like
teach you how to get to heaven.
yeah.
But I feel like it shouldn't matter the generation, because if it's an older church, then of course you're gonna have younger kids there.
Mhm.
And if you're supposed to be training these younger kids to become, you know, prophets, pastor, whatever the case may be, so you should also take into aspect their mental problems, whatever that they're going through. So I don't think like generation should.
I think it is
Matter.
though. It's like a job. They just haven't adapted to the new
Yeah.
environment.
yeah,
Kind
that's
I don't think it should be it should matter though.
of. Yeah, it shouldn't matter, but that's how it is.
I mean, I don't know. I guess for me it would be like it matters in a sense. Well, not like something that should be kept, you know, the same, but it should evolve as people grow and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because like with your parents, right? You can like, I'm not saying everybody was like, you know, dirt like poor in Haiti, but like comparing when they were in Haiti and then they came over here, you know, it's like all their prayers are like saved, and they're like, they would kill to be where we are as kids, right? And then, you know, since we grew up here, they're always like, oh, fait na pays, right? Keep and stuff like that. And you're like, being selfish, and you're just like, no, I'm not saying I wouldn't. No, you're like, yeah, you've been in the poverty. You've never experienced that poverty, right? And they kind of see that as a
being ungrateful.
Yeah, being ungrateful, being like, oh, you don't care about my efforts and all that stuff.
They take it personally.
Yeah, they take it really
like it hit different for them.
Like I appreciate you and all that you do, but listen, this is where I grew up. This is how I grew up, and this is my problem. Just listen to me.
I tell my mom all the time, like,
and then they always threaten you to hate.
Like, this is America, and you know, hey, that's like two different cultures, it's two different societies. Like, it's two. Yeah. Everything is just so different, and it doesn't matter whether you're from Dominican, whatever, it's different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
factual.
You know what they're about. Yeah. So, how, like, what advice would you give, like, youth or age who's like battling mental health, like depression and all that stuff?
Definitely seek somebody to talk to. Like I said, I'm a big believer in therapy. Seek somebody to talk to. Do not hold anything in. Seek somebody you can trust to talk to, because you also don't want, you know, somebody telling your secrets or what you're going through, or, you know, whatever you tell somebody, you don't want everybody to know. Let's actually seek somebody who you trust. And maybe talk to your parents and tell them, you know, how you feel about not being able to approach your parents. Or maybe you can talk to your parents, so talk to them about how you're feeling.
I mean, for me, I guess you would be, I guess with how everybody's like intertwined in the internet now, look towards the internet. There's a lot of really good resources available online, and not even like having to just look for an online therapist or something, but just find friends online, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's always like finding somebody to talk to, finding somebody who understands what you're going through. What else? Writing down stuff. That's something, like if you're like, I've had times where I'm like about to go insane in like a room or something, and I'll just start writing stuff down, and then like, you know, that calms me down. But like not in like, you know, a crazy way, but like, you know, just.
Yeah, writing stuff also helps me think more clearly.
Yeah.
I say if you're creative, create. You'll make your best work with all that mental stuff.
Yeah.
So you can write music, do projects, collaborate, meet new people. It'll be something
cooking
beautiful.
too. That's another really good thing.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Whatever your passions or hobbies are, definitely like look into that.
Yeah.
But if it's something you don't feel will pass away with time, then definitely seek somebody to talk to.
Honestly. For me, I'll say the way I'll deal with mental health, like, I'm big on church. So for me, it'll just be, I'll be in my room, in my secret place, where I just put on worship music. And I just pray and, you know, read my Bible. And also I like taking time for myself, like away from everybody, just away from my phone, do not disturb. Like, don't talk to me, I don't want to talk to you, I want some space. And I also have to learn, you know, to put myself first, because I feel like we want to please everybody, and want to put everybody else's needs or wants before ours, and then it affects us and our view ourselves and carrying on with our lives. So it's just learning to put myself first, you know, saying that it's okay to say no, like it's okay sometimes if you can't do it. Pray, I'll say pray and worship, and like she said, therapy, seek therapy, honestly.
And then with what you were bringing up with the praying, that would count as meditation for like if non-religious people are watching, you know, like meditating, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Have self-care days. Like I do mine every Friday. So
Sundays.
Very important.
Exercise. Always.
Sundays are my self-care days.
That's a good thing.
And just find a community, honestly. Find a community. Surround yourself with positive people.
What if they're
like-minded
introverts?
people? If you're an introvert, I'm sorry,
sure
it's gonna be hard, but you know,
I
just
feel like it'll be more online for
you have to go. You have to put yourself out there. Like, if you want help, you have to go seek for it. Like, it won't come find you in your room, you know. So yeah, go find it. So that's how I'll deal with mental health. Anything you guys want to add in? You want to say?
You are loved. You are beautiful.
Your purpose.
You have purpose. You're great. I love you. I mean, I know you, but I love you.
We all love y'all.
Yeah.
I guess if you're like a news person, don't get too, I guess, wound up in news
Oh,
and
yeah.
like stuff like that. Like I remember I was like caught up, like I'm not saying don't be informed, I guess, but like I used to be caught up in like, you know, a lot of like when Gaza and like a bunch of stuff happened, and like that would depress me in a sense, and like I'd be like, wow, you know, my world is kind of coming to an end, and you know, it's kind of like having all of those negative things happen, like you being exposed to
Yeah.
that.
And get off social media.
Yeah. Cleanse.
Get off. You have to just
Cleanse
take
and
a
cleanse.
break. Like, just get off. And, you know, because the comparison is going to kill you. Like, just get off.
Yeah,
you
have
know,
a day.
find out who you are. What do you like? What makes you happy? You know, what's your passion? I bet some of y'all don't even know your passion. Go figure it out. Like, just spend time with yourself, honestly. Because nobody else is going to love you like yourself. I am so serious. Like, nobody's gonna have your back like you have your own back. Like, seriously. When everybody else leaves, you're gonna be there.
Right there.
Yeah.
So,
You're born alone.
You don't
You'll
die
die
alone.
amen.
But
That's right.
one positive thing about social media, I'm not gonna like just bash it for the whole video.
I mean,
It's
I
like-
already know the positives. I feel like you just have to constantly remind them that there are negative aspects of social media.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's where a lot of our mental health comes from.
Yeah. There are definitely positives if you'd like to touch on them, but we're just
Oh, yeah.
gently reminding you that it is the killer of happiness if you constantly allow it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching our video. Oh my god. This was so good. I learned so much from them, you know, different perspectives. So yeah, it gives different results.
Catch us on the flip side.
Yay! Episode 1 was so successful. Can't wait for episode 2. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Thank you. So yeah, and until next time.